Yeah, I got a bad story from that one. Yeah. Kid did a washout riding a snowmobile. He got ejected. Snowmobile went up, ran him over. Snowmobile got burnt to the ground.
Okay, folks, we're bringing the meeting to order.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. We have a fairly long agenda this evening, so we'll try and keep it going as quick as we possibly can. First thing we need to do is approve some meeting minutes. That was from our November 28th meeting, regularly scheduled council meeting minutes. Get a motion to have those approved.
I move to approve the minutes of the meeting as read.
Motion on the floor by Mary. Second by Mike. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously.
The employee Christmas party?
Okay, can we put that down right above department reports?
Yep. I'd like to add food shelf question.
Okay, we'll throw food shelf right behind that. And, one thing I would like to table to the next meeting would be our, decertification of TIS District number 1-7. And Nicole, can we get, somebody from David's office down?
Yep.
Just to answer any questions, because I know I have some questions that I don't know if we'll be able to try to work our way through this evening.
Yep, Jason was actually planning to be here today, but he accidentally got double booked, so
Oh,
he
is
said
that
he should
right?
be able to make the 27th meeting if
Awesome.
he needed him to, so.
Awesome, thanks. Any other additions or corrections to the agenda? If not, I need a motion to have those approved.
I so move.
Motion on the floor by Stephanie.
Okay.
Second by Don. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye. Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. First item on our agenda this evening is our truth and taxation. Is our final levy certification that we need to get over to the county. If anybody had missed the, public hearing that we had before the council meeting, Mary, you wanna run through what our dollar amounts are?
Sure.
And there's a 0% increase in levy amount this year.
For levy purposes, the general fund, or general, levying 211,515, fire department 47,000, parks 20,000, Cassie Street 12,000, capital improvements for Robert and Park 10,000, for a total cap of $300,515.
Council have any questions or concerns? If not, I will need a motion to have the final levy amount certified.
I'll make that motion.
Motion on the floor by Donnie,
Second.
second by Mary. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye. Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Next item on the agenda is our chapter 9 ordinance amendment, and that is regarding our 2 AM license. And instead of having, Mary, did you wanna read through that?
If you want me to.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. All right, the city council hereby ordains, section 1, ordinance, chapter 9, entitled the possession, sale, and consumption of intoxicating and 2% liquor shall no longer allow the 2 AM optional closing time for liquor license holders. Section 2, ordinance chapter 901.08, subdivision 12 is hereby appealed in its entirety and is amended to read: the city of Pierz does not allow the optional 2 AM liquor license closing. Ordinance chapter 901.19, subdivision 1B is hereby repealed in its entirety and is amended to read: the city of Pierz does not allow the optional 2 AM liquor license closing. This ordinance becomes effective from and after its passage and publication, passed by the City Council of Pierz on 12/12/2016.
City Council, any questions or concerns regarding this ordinance?
I think it's a good thing to do for the city.
I agree with you, Don. So we will need a motion to approve the amended
Motion.
Motion on the floor by Mike,
Second.
second by Mary. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. We have an update on the trail feasibility and funding application. Scott, you and Bob want to come on up and inform the council what's going on with that?
She thinks that. As soon as I was like,
I caught it, she's got
Well, it
one.
could cause a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. No problem.
Oops.
no.
No, okay. This is just, making sure thing not on the press here. Well, this is, just kind of an overall map of what we're working on. The feasibility report is still in process, we're working on it, but, as you recall, working on a feasibility report for a trail loop around Pierz that, generally speaking, starts and ends at the Sioux line. We're envisioning along Centennial Drive and that County Road 283, that'd be one starting point on the southwest corner of the city in Genoa, going north up to 3rd Avenue North, which is also County Roads 43 and 39, going east and then looping back down to the city campground golf course area and then ultimately connecting again south to the Sioux line. We broke those up into 4 segments. And we need to pick a segment to apply for the federal funds. The other part of what we're working on with you is what we call TAP, Transportation Alternatives Program grant, federal grant for trails. And that full application deadline is January 13th. So it's a little ways away, but with the holidays,
Not very far.
it's not very far away. And we did do a pre-application back in end of October, and that was received, and the city got word that, yep, green light, go ahead with the full application. So anyway, tomorrow I'm meeting with the Public Works Committee and then also with the county engineer to review some things with this, because basically every segment involves a county road in one shape or another, but the next agenda item that you have on there is the county's plan in 2020 to reconstruct County Road 43 and 39 between Centennial and Kamnic.
Trying to just tie this together.
Yeah, so we're trying to tie this together, kind of like we did with Safe Routes to
Yep.
School and the Robert Park project and all that. Try not to be too wordy here, but anyway, with that project, Rich Prairie Sewer Water District is planning to replace utilities, so that's where the project requires reconstruction, so everything's getting torn up more or less, is my understanding. And, so we've been looking at that same segment to put in a trail or a sidewalk, off-road. And basically what we've concluded is that in order to fit something in, curbs need to move out there, but that is the one and only time in the near future where you're gonna have that opportunity to do that. So we're gonna explore that with the county a little more tomorrow and with the committee, but there are some areas where there's extra wide parking lanes out there, so what's on the table is putting those back to more of a normal parking lane width. So it'd probably be similar to what's out on Main Street in order to make that work. And it could even involve moving the center line of the road a little bit, which, I mean, once it's built, you'll never notice it, but it's a change.
And now
from
is
what's
the
out there
time,
now.
I mean, now is the time, if we're gonna make this happen, it would be the time to work with the county, as long as they're gonna reconstruct that. I think we need to push to see that we get it done now.
Right now, the only step we're at is a funding application, and that's not set in stone, but then there's a resolution that we have before you tonight, that's basically saying, gives you the green light to apply for the money. It's not locking you into anything or things like that, but So you have that resolution, which is basically with the county, and what that says is that, you know, they'll sponsor the application for the city of Pierz, cause they have to for this funding source. Similar to Safe Roads to School, but the resolution says that any project costs not covered by those grant
They're-
funds are the responsibility of the
Ability of us,
city
not the county.
that are related to the trail.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
3 things going on.
Yeah, we have the
out
trail,
there.
we have the
Trail.
street, and the sewer and water.
Right. Yep. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that would need to happen before this would ever come to fruition, but this is just one of the early steps.
One of the, yeah, I mean, it's the good first step into the project.
And so the other things, there's another resolution then that's actually required by the funding source that the county board needs to pass, and so
Okay.
we're gonna request that of the county on behalf of the city, and then basically they're agreeing to be the sponsor for this application.
Are you going to a county board meeting for that? then?
We'll talk it over with the county engineer tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, we're hoping it'd be on like their, December 20th agenda, but I mean, it may not hurt to have a city rep there.
Yeah, if you don't, I mean, if
Yeah.
you need,
See
I'd
what
like to
he
go with,
thinks,
or
you know.
somebody from
Yep.
Public Works to go with, or something.
Yep. Could see.
That's on the 20th during the day.
I couldn't tell you the time, usually they're 9 or 10 o'clock.
I actually could probably make that work, because I'm gonna get home on the 19th late. But I'll be off on the 20th, so I can maybe go in there and represent the city for that.
Yeah, I'll try and get off and go with it.
So that's kind of what we have cooking, you know, on this thing, so we're exploring on Centennial, which is what we call segment 1, that's labeled on here, the yellow segment.
Scott, just for clarity.
Sure.
Can you speak just a little bit about what portions of these trails, I mean, are we talking multi-use? Because, I mean, one of the biggest things is pedestrian usage of the trail system, and I know that's, came up in our comprehensive plan as well, is to where, we wanna provide enough walking trails for people as well, so.
Yeah, so what we're proposing here for this segment 2, that we're talking about for the funding application, would be an 8-foot wide trail. Just unless we're buying all kinds of easements, that's what it looks like. We'll explore somewhere in that 8 to 10, but 8 is what it looks like it's gonna fit. That is an allowable minimum, I'd say, for a trail. Ideal is 10.
Okay, so we're talking multi-use? then?
Multi-use trail, yeah.
There'd be walking.
So walking and biking,
Okay, walking, like,
Walking, biking, and four-wheeler.
right?
four-wheeling would be,
The 4-wheeling thing with this source, pretty sure wouldn't be allowed
yeah,
with this funding source.
It seems like it would be more of a walking
Right.
path.
With this location, yep.
Mhm. And it's tarred.
Yeah, so, yeah, what we're looking at, again, we're still developing that, but what we're thinking is, I have some drawings, but
Are these
Yeah.
cleared in the wintertime?
that'll be up to you guys. That's a policy decision. So what we're looking at, discussing with the county is, so on the south side of Third, starting at Centennial, and we'd still maintain parking along the whole way, and a minimal boulevard, so probably only a 3-foot boulevard somewhere in there. And we wanna allow some space on the backside for private utilities and a little bit of snow storage and
so we would have.
light poles and things
We're
like
working
that.
that in, Scotty, we are gonna have a boulevard someplace where, we could pile snow and.
It's not gonna be much, I guess we'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
Public Works.
Yeah, I know that's always a tough one for Bobby when he's out trying to plow snow and there's no boulevard area. I mean, all he can do is put it onto the sidewalks, which makes it really, really tough to try and maintain those areas. So I mean, just something to keep in mind. I don't know if it's a possibility or not.
We'll talk more about that tomorrow at our meeting and look at options there, and
Yeah.
we might have to just remove a section, or do removal right away on some of it. We'll talk about
Yeah.
that tomorrow.
But yeah, so I mean, that's basically what's planned. also looking at, a couple different options, and we've been in contact with the school, and Bob and I, we actually walked around out on all of these segments, except for segment 4. And what we're calling segment 3, which would be from the intersection of Kamnic and Third, and then working our way back around down to the bridge by the golf course on Park. The blue segment, that would be like the easterly loop, we call it the gravel pit option. So going on that city-owned 30-foot stretch, and then it gets wider as you go south, and then cuts across the campground.
Campers
Mhm.
on the trail.
That's an option, and then another one was talking with the school briefly, this is just at the staff level, is the green segment, so it'd be following County Road 39, until you get to that northeast ball diamond there,
Mhm.
and then cutting in and following along the east side of the football practice fields there. Going south, and then there's already kind of a trail cut through there on the southeast corner, following that down. And then probably a dual use on that existing driveway into the back, south driveway to the gravel pit area. Paving that segment, bringing it out to Park. The reason we stopped at, it's actually stopping by the bridge, because the county has planned sometime
To update the bridge,
to
yeah.
update it something like after 2020 now. Yeah, it was around 2021-ish, and then got pushed, I think, but still,
That's
it's
all
something
right.
to plan. Right, this is long
You know,
range.
If
stuff.
we get our things in sync by then, it just makes a better option for when that bridge gets replaced, to be able to make that bridge wider to accommodate that trail too.
In the red segment, we had a couple different options within the school property, and the green one is what, at least at the staff level, they thought seemed the best.
More
was
viable.
Behind
Viable
football,
and most
yep.
flexible for the school with any future
Come just north of.
changes.
South of me, I should say.
Yep.
But the red one there, that one, we're actually calling that the Pioneer Spur option, and
Seen that.
that probably would be something maybe the school would consider doing on their own at some point, if this other trail system developed, because we already have a crosswalk down
Built
there
in
by
there.
the south side of the Legion ball fields there. That's why we're connecting down there. So that was the thinking there. And then on this segment 2, the purple one, we are showing a segment on the west side of Kamnic from Third down to the south side of the Legion ball field. That's to get to that crosswalk that's already there, but also
There's a
that's
nice
where
sidewalk
sidewalk is.
Right.
On
Is
the
there
west
sidewalk
side,
On the west side of that?
there's sidewalk all
From
along
there
the west
south,
side.
not north.
Not
Yeah.
north, right.
Stops at the ball field.
Yep.
So that alone would create a number of loops, sidewalk loops within town, along Park and along First. So,
Okay.
so that's what we have cooking right now.
Anybody have
Talk
any other
more
questions for
details
Scott?
tomorrow.
Bob?
Future planning and that's what we need to be looking at, so.
So as far as feasibility, when we bring the draft for that, it's kind of a monster report here, but it's probably January, February-ish, so.
Thanks.
But that grant application, that's a hard deadline of 13th,
So, for this evening, we have
We need
to.
to-
This
Yeah.
evening, we're asking if you could pass that resolution.
Mary?
Yep. Thank you. Resolution 12-2016-03, whereas the city of Pierz has requested that Morrison County sponsor the Transportation Alternatives Program, known as TAP, project identified as Pierz Loop Trail, and whereas sponsorship includes a willingness to secure and guarantee the local share of costs associated with this project, and responsibility for seeing this project through to its completion, as well as agreeing to operate and maintain facilities constructed with federal transportation funds for the useful life of the improvement and not change the use of right-of-way or property ownership acquired without prior approval from the Federal Highway Administration. And whereas Morrison County is not interested in operating and maintaining the Pierz Loop Trail, and whereas the city of Pierz plans to operate and maintain the aforementioned trail. Now therefore be it resolved that the city of Pierz will be financially responsible for all local costs associated with constructing Pierz Loop Trail through the use of TAP funding, additional funding from other sources, and funding from the city of Pierz. Further resolved that the city of Pierz agrees to operate and maintain the aforementioned trail project for its useful life or upon conveyance to another entity, including but not limiting to seal coating, crack sealing, patching, and vegetation control. There's a lot to do with that.
It's maintenance.
When you write it
Cost
down.
department.
You guys heard the copy of the resolution. Can we get a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make that motion to approve.
Motion on the floor to approve by Donnie,
I'll second that.
second by Mary. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Thanks,
Is there any
Donnie.
way you guys could sign that thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
He wants to get out of here.
He's gonna be meeting with us enough yet tomorrow, he wants to get out of here.
Yeah, tomorrow.
That works is fine.
Too late, it's signed now.
Your pen, mine's purple. Yours is blue, so we made a difference, right? There you go.
Alright, thank you.
Thanks, Scott, for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Scott, Bob. Yep.
Shouldn't be a mistake. Thanks, sir.
Next item we have is our annual agreement, that is between, the city and, well.
It's not
Morrison
annual.
County. Is this one annual?
No. This is for Highway 39 and the 43 project.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over one line. Yeah, this was the, Public Works one. It's for the cost sharing between Third Avenue, County State 8, Highway 39 and 43, Centennial to Kamnic. Apologize.
We just need to,
Did you guys take a look at that feasibility portion in there? It just, there's no numbers in there really, it's just more or less what percentage is covered by each entity.
who's responsible for what?
Right. So we would basically have, let's see, city's cost would be install the wire, obviously the fire hydrants,
Curb.
concrete sidewalk.
I took a look at that too, this, it looked pretty standard.
Yeah.
Plus the hydrants,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
Those would be
Pass.
100% covered by the city of Pierz.
I'd make a motion that we, sign into the agreement between Morrison County Public Works and Ripsaw.
The city, motion on the floor by Mike, can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mary, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Now we have the agreement between the Morrison County Attorney's Office and the city of Pierz, that's our annual prosecution fees. Anybody have any questions or concerns? I know Eric wasn't able to make it this evening, so he was unable to.
This is the same
It's the same.
agreement we do every year, and the cost hasn't gone up.
Right.
I'd make a motion that we, enter into the yearly agreement with Morrison County Attorney's Office to do the prosecuting of certain criminal offenses occurring in our corporate city limits.
Motion on the floor by Mike, second by Mary, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Morrison County Animal Humane Society approval agreement, here we go again.
Did they change it at all?
Yes.
No,
According to Eric, it's the same.
no, they didn't.
Cause I was wondering if we had a copy of what was proposed last year versus this
It's
year.
still
You
an
said
arm
it's the
and
same.
a leg for the dog or cat.
So, did Eric ever add up what we took in there, what it cost, and what's not?
In Eric's opinion, I asked him what he felt was best. Obviously, this comes out as, he thinks we should enter into the agreement. between a rock and a hard place. Everybody hates what the cost is. The problem being is that he's stuck with is what does he do with the animals? And when we take them in, if he just arbitrarily takes them in, it's like, what, $250? Yeah, he said it's kind of
So
a
you got
wash.
farm animals, you gotta, cause isn't it 13?
Do we have,
$1,914.
I know, but I mean, do we have, how many did Eric take in this year? What did he?
8, he said 8 today, he took an 8.
Okay.
And the year before it was 3,
Yeah,
so you never know, you know, that's.
the average is low.
And I think there's more dogs in town.
In Millbury Township. It wasn't.
Well, and this is stray animals, I mean, I know that they do their diligence when we get a stray animal in town. Eric and the staff up here do try to find the owner, you know, and I know they are successful in some of the cases, but some of them are, we just have stray dogs that, whether people drop them off or, you know,
Come running in.
they're not,
Another
they're not
animal.
ever the dogs that, I mean, if they have the city tag on them and whatever, well, they're stray or lost at the time, but they get recovered. The animals that we have that cause this issue are not licensed animals in the city.
No, it's, I know it's a tough pill for the council to swallow and,
Well, it comes down to what, $3 a household?
yeah.
Can't we wheel and deal with them and tell them we'll pay $1.50?
Does the news fees to the city slash township is $125 for a cat, $250 for a dog.
They're charging.
In addition to that?
No, if we didn't go
we don't
with
sell.
this, that's what it would be, if you took a cat and it was $125.
And that's kinda where we were
But
at
instead
this
it's
year.
50 and 75. If we pay it, then it's 50 and 75.
Well, basically, we're paying to take them in there and then we wouldn't get charged.
So if we pay the $1,900, we won't get charged if we bring in the animals. Is that correct?
So you're
But if we pay the $250 times 8, which is
$35 and $50.
You know, it's almost a wash, and it's,
Please understand,
I don't wanna do it, but
I'm not agreeing to the contract with us.
They charge individuals who bring them in from a non-contractor township.
well, which would be us if we don't sign
Yeah,
the
if we don't-
agreement, then we get charged.
Because if we enter into this agreement, citizens can bring the dog in at no extra cost, that's the way it was.
We'll accept owner surrendered animals and strays from our citizens at a rate of 50 to 75, $50 a cat, 75 a dog, if space is available, that's underneath the signature part.
But it starts out as, please understand that I'm not agreeing to this contract.
Right, we're gonna pay that.
It does say that they would come, they would attend one of our meetings.
Let's table and get them here,
Yeah.
that's my recommendation.
You know, I'll be willing and dealing.
Hey, that's fine, that's, we can gain an inch doing that.
50, well, there's still pay 35 and 50, if you pay 3, you still pay 35 and 50 equal fee.
Yeah, let's get them here.
Okay, so can I get a motion on that table?
I move to table the Morrison County Animal Humane Society agreement.
Motion on the floor by Mary, can I get a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Second by Stephanie, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Great River Regional Library Bridge. Oh,
You missed the Decertify
no,
District
no,
No.
it's on there.
We tabled
tabled
that till the
that.
Oh,
27th.
ragdoll.
I wasn't joking, you were jumping back.
We did that in the.
Bounce it back.
So this is our Great River Regional Library Branch Agreement approval. Nicole, did you have a chance to take a look at, the agreement?
Yeah, I did, and it's just kind of, it seems to be the same. as it
That
was
she
as
explained
the
when she
draft.
was
Yeah.
here, what we drafted, or what you guys came up in the,
Yeah, but it was just, we were waiting on her board to approve it, so. And they tabled it, we don't have to approve it until June 30th, but I figured
Get it done.
if we don't have any questions or anything moving forward, we could just approve it.
I would make a motion that we, approve the agreement with the city and Great River Regional Library.
There's a motion on the floor by Mike,
I'll second that.
second by Mary, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Nicole, what do we have on the next one here? Office 365 subscription.
Yeah, Carrie and I kind of were going through some stuff and, Office 365, I believe his name is Brad from,
Brad Dora.
Radio Shack.
Yeah,
Radio
Radio
Shack.
Shack. We were kind of having some issues with our email at first when we started, but in going through it, we were talking about updating updating to Office 365 Business, but at this point, I talked with Linda, and we currently have 2013, and I don't feel that we need to update to 2016 or whatever the current one is. But I do feel that we might want to go with the email plan. We would, at the end of the year, we would end up saving $24. I mean, it's not a lot, but
It's a second.
it would give us, opportunity to share calendars between all of us, and
Nice.
we would be able to see, we've created one for the city hall just for events to see who's renting it out, and, we'd be able to share email calendars, and just moving forward, I would be able to see Eric's would be able to see ours, and depending on, who shares what, they use it at the county, and it's very helpful.
And
in
that
setting up
is, what program is that?
Office
Email?
365, but
Okay.
if exchange, yep. it
That's
would
an
be-
email.
It's, $4 a month, versus $6 a month with what we have now. And that way we can, like I was saying before, when I took over Scott's position, we had to fully delete his email and then re-add mine, we had to do that through admin. This way we can, let's say the council members come in, we can do it ourselves here. And then if something's going to Mary's email that Dave wants, we don't have to totally delete that email, or the email address.
That's good thinking.
So we need to just approve subscribing to this then?
Not subscribing to the Office 365 Business, I think maybe in the future we can maybe move towards something like that when we do get a little bit maybe more up to date.
To approve the email account.
Yep.
I'll make the motion to approve the 365 email.
Motion on the floor by Donnie, get a second. Second by Stephanie, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. We have our comp plan public hearing date, the council will need to approve.
Commercial club.
Commercial club.
Commercial club. Renewal, oh, okay, let's go with the comp plan for now. We got to set a date for that, and Nicole, can you get rough drafts, copies for the
Yep.
council to look at? And then, just kind of,
When are you thinking to do this?
Sometime in January, whether that's the second meeting, 'cause I know the first one's pretty booked up with just annual stuff. We're not really in too much of a hurry, I think the last fine tuning was the picture, and I took that already for you guys, so.
Well, then the map.
Yep, and, I think,
We're
did we
just gonna
decide
do
to
it
put it
in-
on the side of it?
yeah, and on the side or an excerpt in there
Mhm.
about the map. So
Just
that
it's-
we
'cause
can,
it's changing.
well, we can always amend that too, but for now, just trying to get, that comment from the council, back, so we can take and, approve that or make any changes that you think we need to, look at making. And, yeah, and go from there. So what are you thinking, how about the second meeting in?
We don't have the new calendar stuff yet, do we?
Where's SCH? They gotta get us our
That's
free
good.
calendar.
20.
They just
Is he
brought
still
it.
here?
It's the
No,
20,
but
we gotta
the
go drop
calendars
it.
are here. Oh, he brought them.
9th and the 20.
You might as well hang on.
Third.
23rd.
So you guys do the second and the last?
Second and
Fourth.
fourth Mondays.
Yep, the 23rd.
So So is that public hearing half hour before the council meeting, plenty of time?
I would like to schedule it over for that.
That's what I was asking, what
Information,
if-
yeah, there's a lot of information there, and, so it'd be kinda nice if.
Start at
if,
6?
If we could start it at 6 and try and make sure that we get through the whole thing. If it doesn't take long,
We
that's.
can always finish up after
Yeah.
the meeting with
We
it
can do
too.
that too if we can't get through. Absolutely. Okay, we talking, what time?
6 o'clock on the 23rd of January. I'll make a motion that we set that public hearing.
Motion on the floor by Mike to set the public hearing for the comp plan.
I'll second it.
Second by Mary, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. 2017 commercial club renewal. We'll need a motion to have that.
I know that we are dues and commissions club renewal.
Motion on the floor by Mary,
I'll second it.
second by Mike, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Christmas party? Lynn and I were thinking maybe, first Saturday in January, does that conflict with anybody else's Christmases? They might have one.
What's the date?
6th or 7th? 7th. 2nd is a Monday.
Seem like that'll be okay for all of us.
Sure.
And what time are we looking at?
2 a.m.?
2 a.m.?
We just got rid of that license. We got rid of the license, we got, you know.
1:15, people.
I'm gonna go to 2.
I think we've always done 6, honey.
Okay, yeah, 6 o'clock. would be-
Potluck, everybody brings a dish.
You guys want?
If you want, otherwise.
Sounds good. Mary, you had some questions on the food shelf.
I did. I talked to Pat today, she had, Pat Zimmerman is now running the food shelf, took over Bernie's spot. And she had requested, funding from the Lions to replace the carpeting in there. And a Lions member came to look, she said she had an estimate from, Kurt's Furniture, but she didn't have it with her when she called me. She hadn't picked it up yet today. Anyway, the Lions told her that either they or we were thinking of building a new food shelf. And I said, I'm not aware of any of that.
I'm not either.
I don't heard from the Lions, she said, I just want you to know what we have is sufficient. And so she would just like the carpeting in there, she's ordering different, she's getting yogurt for a whole case for 96 cents. And she's just really excited about all the new things that she's getting, but she'd also like a refrigerator. So my question is, I said, I'll ask council tonight, do they use the funds from the food shelf to buy a refrigerator or whatever, or does the city? I don't know how any of that is.
That's always came out of the funds of the food
What do we
shelf.
have in
Yeah,
there?
state.
Yeah,
Lynn will
that's
know
always
'cause
came
she's
out
been
of
on
it.
the board.
Okay.
Yep, I do know that from the past when mom and dad had it, when they had to update the freezers from when Hildegard had it.
Okay.
All the money,
Comes out
yeah.
of the board, yeah.
That equipment belongs to the food shelf.
Because I know all we have in our budget is a small amount for, what do we pay electric there, or do we pay?
Yeah.
heat?
Yeah.
Might be some maintenance
Bobby's
money.
got some maintenance money there too, yeah.
So maybe there's maintenance money in there for the carpet.
Maybe the carpet part of
Yeah.
it, but like I said, that equipment stuff comes out of our budget.
Okay. Well, she was,
You're on that board.
Yeah, so is Mary.
yeah, so am I, but I didn't, and I said.
Well, we haven't bought anything, I don't think, for a long
many
time.
years. Yeah,
So
but now that
maybe-
she's buying differently, she.
We could certainly check, and Bob, maybe you could look at the budget and see if we can cover the carpet in there or something and help out with that.
And she didn't know if the Lions were gonna donate or not.
Okay.
I'm sure you
You know.
will, we'll just don't know.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
one of
if
the
they
funds-
donate,
cost.
you know,
Yeah.
we'll take
Yeah.
care of the rest or whatever out of the maintenance.
Yeah.
She's loving the job.
Mhm.
She loves serving
Good.
the public, she's good at it.
Good.
Yeah, I
Where
just-
she came up with the possibly building a new one is when we had our meeting next door. And I think that Moser lady had said that one of the options, if we were gonna move City Hall to the old bank, that they could put the food shelf in over here. was talk about moving the food shelf at that
I know
time.
that was-
None of that ever really
Okay.
happened.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that at one time, and this is way back when, they were thinking to try and accumulate enough cash, so at some point in time, if anything ever happened with that building or the city or whatever,
Yeah.
that they could eventually have a little fund to build in one if they had to.
Right.
I don't know where that's at, or if that's still in a plan or not, but,
You never have enough to build.
yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah.
And what's there is
Construction costs
sufficient.
about more than you
Well,
can
and
say
she
the
said
rate.
she's happy with the building, she has no problems with it.
No, and the carpet is old. I mean, I will say it's stained up
And there's
and
privacy
it's,
coming in the back door, she
Yep.
likes the location, and she said, I don't know who wants to build, but I'm happy with it here, so.
yeah.
Anyway, okay, I'll get back to her.
So she should meet up with Bob then.
I'll let her talk to Bob, yeah.
Bobby, we'll do some department reports.
Just had a few items to discuss. Are you getting any sleep? Yeah, actually, I slept really good today.
Seems like every 5 minutes it's snowing
Yeah.
outside. Yeah, it's hard to keep up on.
I guess along with that too, I just wanted to say thanks for investing in that street project. It makes a big difference as far as maintenance, especially in the wintertime. You know, you got your road that actually flows decent. You salt it and it moves, and you can plow it and it plows the way it's supposed to. Curbs are where they are, they're supposed to be. Stuff gets drained, it works, it functions. It's kind of a full circle thing, you know.
You know, Bob, you know way more than we do, the trials that you have when you're out there working
Yeah.
and trying to move it, what's working, what's not working, so if it's gonna work, it's well worth it.
So yeah, we've had a few snows and that's been going pretty good, I guess. Skating rinks are started. And I talked to a vendor last week about electric meters and he has a few that he's sold to some municipals in the state. He's out of Alexandria, so we just talked about having him come at least present what they're doing as far as the city purchasing the system. And also I've contacted Minnesota Powerless and they're gonna give us some vendors also that they've worked with for purchase option, I guess, too. So, yeah, other than that, Waiter Ride was Thursday, so I'm getting stuff cleaned for that.
Cool.
Keeping on.
I'd just like to say at that time of year again is to where, this young man is out, pulling lots of hours and working his rear end off to make sure that the residents have these streets to walk and drive on. And, I just want you to know, Bob, from us, it's, the job you do here is outstanding. And, you don't know how much we appreciate it. I know sometimes we don't say it enough, but without you, we would, I don't know how we'd work.
You'd get it done.
We'd get it done, but it wouldn't be done as good or as timely, so.
Yeah, it comes full circle too, though. I mean, we need equipment, we need staff, qualified staff.
How's the parking been going?
Good.
Any issues
I
with?
mean,
the-
there's some here and there, but I mean, I know Jason's out in a lot of it, so.
Thanks again, Bobby, keep up the
Yeah.
good work.
Thank you.
No, Eric wasn't gonna be here this evening, as I mentioned before, with Daniel. Nicole?
Yeah, not too many crazy updates, just doing everyday kind of sort of stuff. We were looking into that email stuff, so that kind of took up some time and just paying bills and I finally feel a little bit more comfortable in payroll and stuff, so I think I had payroll done by 10:30 today, so that was kind of nice and then I worked on other stuff, so, yeah.
Nicole is, feeling her way through this process and learning the job. Tell you what, from what I've seen come out of City Hall, it's been, quality-wise, it's been excellent, so, keep on plugging, good job, boys.
I wanted to say nice words about too, he's been keeping up, I see him come out here and shovel all the time too. It's
Good work,
great work.
be hard to replace.
Mhm.
Mhm. Linda, did we have any claims or anything this month?
We have a claim.
Yeah. I went through them
Thank
all
you.
already.
I didn't get a chance to go through the claims this month, folks.
I did. I looked
I
like
yeah.
every everything is legitimately that we have to pay it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Was there any questions or concerns about the bills? If not, we'll need a motion to have them approved.
I'll make the motion.
Motion on the floor by Donnie,
I'll second.
second by Mike. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Linda, anything going on?
Just have a
Treasurer's
checkbook
report?
balance from November of $786,000, $670.25. That's balanced with the statement as of November 30th. And nothing else as far as the.
Thanks, Linda. We need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I move to approve the treasurer's report.
Motion on the floor by Mary, can you get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Steffi, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Folks, did we have anything else?
Mary, get ready.
I just, I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Oh.
I was waiting for Mary this
I
whole
thought I
time.
was gonna say, I
I
thought you
was
were gonna
waiting
say
for her to
something
say
else.
something, she didn't, so I thought I would stick it to her.
I got one more meeting to do.
Two we got.
That's what I was just thinking.
Adjourn one more, I got two more.
One, yeah, cause the other one, she'll,
Because I don't remember
she
if,
can't
if Dana was
adjourn
did
it,
it
cause she'll be
before.
off
Oh.
in the middle of the meeting.
Yeah.